Hello, I'm Christian Bjerg, pensioned researcher from the University of Copenhagen Institute of Psychology. When I learned about your Berlin workshop and read the abstracts of your first day program, it struck me that your concerns about tracking the phenomenology of subjects, I guess typically relying on simultaneous spoken report, loud thinking, or retrospective reporting, might be met in a new way if the conditions of your experiments could permit subjects to see and use a laptop, fixed or suspended for convenient access. I would therefore lead your attention to an investigatory tool which I have been developing over the last 14 years, which, without expense, can be used for research subjects' own assessment of their mental processes in the course of an experiment. It is essentially a digital diary with detailed timestamping. But parallel to textual inputs, it also offers a pictogram shorthand option with a preliminary library of approximately 400 pictograms, thus allowing differentiated feedback from cognitive states without or with limited access to language. The tool is constructed to serve as an ongoing diary over weeks, months, and years of personal life, and meant to enable the user to adapt the layout of the user interface according to own relevances. In your case, this means that you as experimenters can adapt the user interface to fit the needs of precisely your experiment, and also can evolve such adaptations drawing upon experiences from earlier experiments. An advantage when applied to experiments would be that the subjects, optimally with their personal laptop, could not only learn to handle the tool before and outside the narrow experimental setup, but might even be persuaded to train using it during few or many days before the experiment and also days after the experiment, not to speak of possible repeated experiments. I think the problems concerning whether introspection can be separated from social interaction in these contexts points to possible strategic choices. A. You can have subjects to be instructed to report as much and whatever they care, with an understanding that what they write will be shared with the experimenter, but distinguish between whether it's simultaneously, so it becomes a direct expressive act, or only after the experiment, so thus perhaps a little less consciously social. An alternative would be to present the method as an extremely private tool of intrapersonal communication, where subjects are instructed to log all phenomena down to reflections about the experimenter's bad breath or irritating perfume, sexual imagery, etc., and an option only to share such parts of it they care. The last is of course only meaningful if the laptop belongs to the subject. I am very interested in possible experimental uses and also open for collaboration to evolve special versions fitting neuropsychological needs. As to my own backgrounds, I have been concerned since the 1980s with the impact of digital media on the domestic life space of the lay citizen, and explored ways to empower citizens to meet the complex threats and challenges of a digitized society. I have focused how we can help people in their communication with themselves. And I have been developing, testing, and improving the program as a versatile application for keeping a radically new kind of personal diary, fitting drawing the resources of a modern laptop. It is a very ambitious enterprise. I have avoided aiming for a proprietary solution with the necessary focusing upon most feasible target groups, and instead launched the program as freeware in order to open the road to its further user-driven development of target group-specific versions. This can be, for example, patient diaries fitted to the needs of, for example, diabetes 2, asthma, Alzheimer, Asperger, brain rehabilitation, etc., implying extending the pictogram resources to cover all kinds of specific symptoms and treatments. Worth mentioning is also the already prepared integration of quantitative telemedical inputs and the many new gadgets of self-tracking. An important aspect of the freeware status of the program, beyond the fact that it favors the economically disadvantaged, is that the user interface in principle can be translated to all human languages. I am, of course, well aware that all this lies outside the motivations, concerns, and relevances of your workshop, but I wanted you to know the broader context of my concerns and relevances. The program comes in versions for Mac and Windows, even a small 10-inch Windows version. It can be downloaded from www.phenomenalog.dk